guys, come on downstairs. We're bringing a little Microsoft Flight Simulator to you. It's our state and sports venue tours where we go through and look at all the sports venues in each and every state in the United States. And we might hit some of Canada as well. But we're going to finish up California with our second and final episode. And we're going to start in Santa Monica where we left off. We're going to go to Malibu and check out Pepperdine. And then we head up the coast to Santa Barbara to see the Thunderdome. From Santa Barbara, we keep our little Big West flavor. Go to San Luis Obispo. Check out Cal Poly. They have a football program, so we'll see a football stadium and basketball venue for them. And then we're going to skip to the east, to the southern part of the Central Valley. Check out Bakersfield. They just filled a basketball program, no football there. And then we'll head up the middle of the Central Valley, get an idea of just how huge the Central Valley of California is. And we will stop in Fresno. And that will be the end of leg number 1 in Northern California. So let's get things started. So we zoom out, see where we're at. State of California, overall, between these two episodes, somewhere around 60 venues, I think, we end up seeing. And here we are starting in Santa Monica, California, northwest side of Los Angeles. All right, let's get off the ground here and get leg number 1 underway. Northern California. So we're still in the LA area. Southern California was pretty much the San Diego and Los Angeles areas. And so Northern California, we have a ton of ground to cover, let alone venues to see. So we saw a ton of venues in San Diego and in Los Angeles, but we didn't cover a lot of territory. Everything was, right here in the Los Angeles area. This episode, though, we cover a ton of territory as we head up north through the state of California. So we're in the air, not in a huge plane, but it's one of the faster small planes I could find. And you can see Fresno up there, about 175 miles away from Los Angeles, but we've got several waypoints to hit before we reach Fresno. So we get our last look here at Santa Monica, California. And then we'll head up the coast to Malibu. So we got to take advantage and enjoy these coast videos because we're going to be spending a lot of time in the interior of the United States. So we're going to take advantage of the ocean while we can, see the shoreline as we seek out these sports venues throughout the country. So, just to give you an idea of where we're headed, we're going to do Northern California, then we're going to skip over and do Nevada, and then Utah, and then Idaho, and then Oregon, and then Washington, and then we'll skip over to Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and head east along the Canadian border up there. So, we're not going to get a ton of the coast after the Oregon and Washington episodes are over. So we'll enjoy it while we can. This is Malibu, California right here, home of the Pepperdine Waves. Biggest part of Malibu you can see up ahead in the upper left corner. But Pepperdine University here is down a little bit south of the main part of the city of Malibu, up in the hills. Not a better setting for a university in all of the country. I am pretty certain of that. So here we are heading over Pepperdine University's basketball stadium, or basketball arena, the Firestone Fieldhouse. And it is the square building off to the left of the, is that a swimming pool? I think it was a swimming pool by the tennis courts. Firestone Fieldhouse. Pepperdine Waves. And that is the bigger part of the city of Malibu out there on that point. Beautiful city. Now we're going to head north along the coast towards Santa Barbara, the alma mater of Jim Rome. And Santa Barbara is in a pretty dang beautiful spot as well. Maybe just doesn't have the hillside that Pepperdine has in Malibu. More of a flat area, but it is right on the coast. We'll see it when we get there. You look at some of the coast range here. Alright. This is not Santa Barbara. This is, I believe it's Oxnard, California. And then just above Oxnard a little bit is Ventura. And now we are headed straight at Santa Barbara. We're out over the Pacific Ocean. And Santa Barbara, California, home of the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos. For a while, I was doing a UC Santa Barbara Gaucho dynasty in MVP06 NCAA baseball. Got into the third season of that. I don't know why I quit some of these. I should start some of my longer running series up again. I do have plans to restart Southern Utah Dynasty here in the very near future. But that's a story for another day. Let's look at the UCSB Event Center, better known as the Thunderdome. And it is the building that is shaped like, from our vantage point right here, an X, or like a cross, just off of our right wing there. That is the Thunderdome. The UC Santa Barbara Event Center. My Aggies have had some good games with the Gauchos in that arena over the years. And that is Santa Barbara. Next up, we're going to hit one of my favorite spots on this tour. I think so far as settings go, will be San Luis Obispo, California. Love the setting, and you'll see why. But with Cal Poly, we will see a football stadium and a basketball venue. And then we'll be done with the coast for a little while until we get up to the Bay Area. Alright, here is San Luis Obispo, California. Love the setting tucked between all those mountains. The Cal Poly Mustangs. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. All on these hillsides. Not a long drive from the coast. Just inland, just like a tiny bit. The coast is like just over a little teeny mountain range and then down to the shoreline. So a beautiful setting for San Luis Obispo. I've never been to the town, but from the looks of it, I would like to. At least drive through it and see it someday. We'll see. All right, first off, the football stadium. Spanos Stadium. And it is straight off of our right wing now. Cal Poly's football stadium. A lot of these football stadiums in smaller towns look like they've been smashed by an asteroid, because they don't have any 3D photogrammy or whatever they are calling it in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So a lot of the bigger cities, you see they've gone in and been more meticulous about the details. But some of these smaller towns, San Luis Obispo, the stadiums just look flat the way they would on a top-down view of Google Maps. Which is unfortunate, but at least you can see where the venue is at. Some of them, if they are built down into the ground, you can at least see that, you know, a little bit of the shape of the stadium going down into the ground, but that's because there's elevation change. The ones that sit above ground just look flat as can be. All right, Mott Gym is the Cal Poly basketball arena. It's the silver roofed building there. And we are done with the coast for now. So we're going to head back east to the Central Corridor of California and check out Cal State Bakersfield, the Roadrunners. And are they in the Big West Conference or are they in the WAC? I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember. It seems like they've got to be in the Big West, right? With all the other Cal State schools? I think so. I'm not sure, though. I think they were in the WAC for a little bit, maybe. All right, you can see we're back into the Central Valley, all the farming area. And now here is Bakersfield. Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunners. And they just have a basketball arena we're going to hit here, the Icardo Center. And we're going to fly right straight over the top of it, it looks like. Right there, right underneath our plane, that's the Icardo Center. Home of the Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunners basketball program. And now we are going to turn and head out of Bakersfield and go north. And you're going to get an idea here of just how huge this valley is in the center of the state of California. Here we go. We're going to speed it up. And we're just going to keep going and going and going until we hit Fresno, California. "27 miles away. So we're going to check out the venues for Fresno State, and then we will put this plane down and get ready for leg number 2 of California. But here is Fresno. Fresno, California. I've been there once for a football game. Fantastic place to watch football. Actually got to be down on the sidelines in that one as a media member. Got to do some camera work on the sidelines when Utah State played Fresno. At Bulldog Stadium here. So Bulldog Stadium looks really good. It is built into the ground somewhat, so there is some 3D value to it. They don't have the lights, though. The signature lights of Bulldog Stadium that go out over the top of the stadium, they did not render in the graphics of Bulldog Stadium. But there was Bulldog Stadium. They had the checkered end zones that are also kind of a I don't know, unique feature. Not necessarily unique. Tennessee has those as well, but an identifying feature, I should say, of Bulldog Stadium. Here's Save Mart Center now, the home of the basketball program with the red roof, or the white and red roof right here we're going over. Save Mart Center. Pretty good sized venue for Fresno State basketball. They've had a few good teams here and there. Paul George played in that arena. And we're going to do one more pass over Bulldog Stadium. You see the baseball stadium right there as well. I don't know what that's called. The home of Fresno State baseball, one-time College World Series champions. And then over the top of Bulldog Stadium. All right, so we are going to go over the city, like the downtown area of Fresno. And I think right in the downtown area was a baseball stadium. That's probably the home of the Fresno Grizzlies AAA baseball team. But now we have found the airport, and we're going to put this puppy down and get ready for leg number 2 of our Northern California tour. So speaking of Paul George, I can't let this go. Paul George did he play 1 year at Fresno or 2 years? I can't remember how many years at Fresno he played, but I know there was one game where Paul George and his team came to Logan to play Utah State, and we were a really good team at that point, Utah State was, and we absolutely destroyed Paul George and the Bulldogs. I think at one point Utah State was up by like over 60. I mean, we all know how good Paul George was, but after that game, I was like, this guy is supposed to play in the NBA? I don't know. I don't know if he's really got it. Because I don't know, just as a team, Utah State's defense just shut him down, shut everybody on the Bulldogs team down. And we're leading by 60. I think they ended up winning by 50-something, but it was an I remember that game because I took my nephew to it. And it was one of the only ones that I have ever taken my nephew to. All right, we're about to put it down here in Fresno. I think one of the funnest things I've had in this series is just landing in all these cities. Yeah, not the best landing in the world, but we got it down. Still working on the landings. In some upcoming episodes, I do some crosswind landings and stuff like that get a little hairy. But hey, practice makes perfect, right? All right, let's take a look at our second leg of California. We're going to head from Fresno back over towards the Bay Area. And our first stop will be the city of San Jose. So we get out of the valley, and we're going to hit a whole bunch of spots right here, you can see. So let's zoom in, start off with San Jose State. We'll check out their football and basketball venues. And then we will head over and check out the home of the San Jose Sharks. Then up near the airport, we get the home of the San Jose Earthquakes and the Santa Clara Broncos. From there, we'll head north in Santa Clara for the home of the San Francisco 49ers. After that, we head to our northwest to Stanford and check out the football and basketball venues for the Stanford Cardinal. And then from here, it gets a little weird, the order that it sent us in. Instead of heading towards San Francisco, we take a trip to the other side of the bay to check out Oakland Coliseum and the Oakland Athletics. And then it sends us back across the bay to San Francisco, where we will check out Golden State Warriors and the San Francisco Giants in Oracle Park, and then the venue for the University of San Francisco, right in the heart of downtown. Well, not right in the heart of downtown, not like in the skyline, but in the middle of the city of San Francisco. And then we jump across the bay yet again to Berkeley and check out the venues for the California Golden Bears. From there, we're going to head south and east to Moraga, where we check out St. Mary's. And then from there, it gets a little weird again as we head back into the interior part of the state. We're going to make a stop in Davis, California, if we can get there. So you can see just how much we have to cover here in this episode. A lot of ground. And some of it's a little, I don't know, kind of crazy. UC Davis right here. They have a football and a basketball venue. Then from there, we're going to head into Sacramento to check out the home of the Sacramento Kings. And then on the other side of the city, the Sacramento State Hornets football and basketball venues. And then we go completely out of our way to catch this straggler down in Stockton, California, where we go down to see the home of the Pacific Tigers. Way down here, just way out of the way, but I'm not going to miss it. We probably could have done this in a more efficient manner, but we didn't. And then we come all the way back up. Instead of landing in Stockton, I wanted to come all the way back up and land at the Sacramento Executive Airport. So, all right, we're going to start this one early in the morning from FRESNO-YOSEMITE International Airport. Leg number 2, our final leg in the state of California. It's a big one. We're going to be in the air for a while here. I think overall it took me close to 3 hours of real flight time to complete this entire leg. Obviously, it won't take that long here in this video as I've chopped a lot of unnecessary parts out. So it's going to be more like 20 minutes or so. of episode time. Alright, so we're leaving Fresno early in the morning. By the time we get to San Jose, it should be daylight. And you can see the sun starting to rise behind us in the east as we continue to head across the valley towards the Bay Area. And once we hit San Jose, it's going to be bang, bang, bang. A whole bunch of venues really fast are going to come at us. So we got to be ready and not miss these, or else we're going to have to do a lot of circling around trying to relocate where they're at. We're starting to hit some mountains here on our way out of the valley. And we just get over this mountain pass right here and we should be seeing San Jose. Getting awfully close. So my brother-in-law is a professor at San Jose State University. I think he teaches something in undergrad, like library science or something like that. But he does it remotely. So he doesn't live in San Jose or even in California. Alright, San Jose, California, right in front of you, home of the Spartans, Sharks, and Earthquakes. And we're going to check out their venues in that order, starting with San Jose State. So here's the event center. Alright, now this venue needs updating. There you see it right there. It's an old building. Not huge, it's more like a high school gym, maybe just a little bit bigger. And San Jose really needs to upgrade their basketball venue a lot. Their football venue, they are working on upgrading. And I've always liked their football venue. I know a lot of people say it's old and run down, but there's some history with this football venue, specifically some track and field history. But it's not a bad venue, and I like the location of it and the setting of it. So I don't think they need to build something new somewhere else. Maybe just some upgrades, which I think they're doing, which they are working on, I believe. They were working on it this season when Utah State played at San Jose. I think only one side of the stadium was allowed to be filled while they were working on the stands on the other side. But here we go. It's CEFCU Stadium. I don't know how you would say that. CEFCU Stadium? I don't know how you would say that. Spartan Stadium, that's what I call it. So there it is right below us. Trees all around it. It's an older venue, but I like the setting of it. And I think it could be a really good venue for San Jose State if they just fix it up a little bit, which they're doing. Alright, so there's San Jose State, right in the heart of San Jose. And now we're going to head across town to the west side of San Jose, almost to Santa Clara. Check out SAP Arena, the home of the San Jose Sharks. Right off the San Jose International Airport. There's quite a few venues around this airport. The SAP used to be the SAP Center. Now I think they call it the SAP Arena. Home of the Sharks. Right below us there you saw. Now we're going to head to the home of the San Jose Earthquakes, PayPal Park. And this one is just a big empty field on Flight Simulator, but that arrow shows where PayPal Park is located in real life, but it's not there in the sim. Too old of a map, I guess. And so now we're in Santa Clara, where we're going to check out Santa Clara University, the Broncos, and the Levy Center. It's right below us by the tennis courts with the 9 rectangles or whatever they are on top of the building, the black. Yeah, there it is right there. I use an arrow. That's probably an easier way to explain it. So that's the Levy Center, home of the Santa Clara Broncos, right by San Jose International Airport. And now we head north of the airport to try to find the Levi's Stadium, and it's not going to be hard to find because it is huge and it stands out. And there it is. You can see it straight ahead of us. The home of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I had always heard that this stadium was in Santa Clara, but I never really to be honest, I didn't know where Santa Clara was. I knew it was in the Bay Area somewhere. I didn't realize how close to San Jose it was, and I didn't realize how far away from San Francisco it actually is. It's like people from downtown San Francisco have a pretty nice little drive to get down to Levi's Stadium, which probably sucks for a lot of 49ers fans that live right around San Francisco, where they used to just drive to Candlestick Park right there. Although Candlestick Park was a miserable place to watch a football game, so maybe it's worth the drive to come down to Santa Clara, maybe have a little bit better weather, not so much wind off of the ocean. As we circle around and take another look at Levi's Stadium, home of the 49ers. So this is what an above-ground stadium is supposed to render like. And a lot of them in the smaller cities just look like they've been mashed like a pancake. So you kind of have to envision that they really look like this. You can see the 3 levels of decks at Levi's Stadium, home of the 49ers. But yeah, I mean, Flight Simulator has the entire world, so you can't expect them to give too much detail to some of these tiny towns when there's hundreds of huge cities for them to put details into. Alright, so we're done with Santa Clara. We're going to head north towards Stanford and Palo Alto area. So home of the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford, California. Sometimes people say Stanford is from Palo Alto. I'm okay with that. Palo Alto's right there too. In fact, I think Stanford, California is just the campus, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know how it works, but I imagine that's the case. Like, Stanford, California is like right in the middle of Palo Alto. Here's Maple's Pavilion. It's the red roof that the arrow pointed to up there. You can see the one, I don't know, round building with the red roof. And now here is Stanford Stadium right below us in the trees. Nice setting for a football venue. I don't like it as much as Cal's setting, though. Cal's setting is better, in my opinion. But definitely not a bad place or setting right there for Stanford football, home of John Elway and Andrew Luck. Several other NFL players. Alright, so now we are done with Stanford. We're going to take this crazy trip across the bay now to Oakland. And we have Oakland, California now right in front of us. You can see the Bay Bridge off to the left. About center of your screen off to the left. Now it's gone as we get a little bit closer to our destination here, or this waypoint I should say, not the destination. So Oakland, California, home of the Oakland Athletics, and hopefully they can stay in Oakland unlike the Raiders. Hated seeing the Raiders leave, and I would hate it if the A's left. Golden State's already bailed. Tough times to be a sports fan in the city of Oakland right now. But I hope and pray the A's can stay, because nothing else, I mean, unless they go back to Philadelphia, no other city sounds right to have the A's name behind it. Philadelphia Athletics, they once were, and Oakland Athletics, they will be, and hopefully always will be. So, alright, here is, I call it Oakland Coliseum. I think it's changed so many times. O.co, now it's Ring Central Coliseum, but it's Oakland Coliseum to anybody who's been a sports fan for very long. I've been to one A's game there. Loved it. Great atmosphere. The guys banging the drums through the whole game. It's just awesome place. We watched the A's play the Mariners back in, man, what was it, the 2001 season maybe? It was a long time ago. Ichiro was playing. Jamie Moyer was pitching for the Mariners. But here we go. You can see Oracle Arena, the former home of the Golden State Warriors with the red roof. And here is Oakland Coliseum, home of the Athletics. Rendered very nicely here in Flight Simulator. You've even got the Athletics tarps up in the upper decks. And we got to look at Oracle Arena, which we could count that one as the Golden State Warriors Arena, because their new arena was under construction apparently when this map was made. Alright, San Francisco, California, home of the Warriors, the Giants, and the San Francisco Dons. So we're coming up on the Chase Center, or at least where the Chase Center is supposed to be. Right now it's just a vacant lot. And maybe eventually Microsoft Flight Simulator will get this map updated, or at least it'll motivate Bing Maps to update their maps, and then they can render some of the buildings here. But Chase Center is supposed to be right in that empty spot straight ahead of us. Alright, so we've crossed over Chase Center, circled around, and now we're heading north towards Oracle Park. And we'll get a good look at that, a good look at McCovey's Cove. Again, I love how the multi-level freeways rendered in Flight Simulator. It makes it look pretty cool. So here's Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. What a setting for a baseball game. Someday I will go to a game at Oracle Park. You can see McCovey's Cove out beyond the right field wall. What an awesome place. Oracle Park. Right on the bay. Downtown San Francisco. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from Fisherman's Wharf that's down around the corner from it. Okay, so we're done with those two venues in San Francisco. We've got one more left to find, and that is the home of the San Francisco Dons. Now this kind of gave me a taste of what trying to find venues in New York City is going to be like, and I don't look forward to that, but I'm going to do my best to do it when we get to that point. Trying to find the San Francisco Dons Arena in among all of the buildings that are crammed into the San Francisco city area was rough. To do that, I kind of took an angle off of Golden Gate Bridge to show me where it was. So we're going to do a quick circle around the Golden Gate Bridge. And when we're in San Francisco, we can't miss the Golden Gate Bridge anyway. We got to get that in. So we're circling around the Golden Gate Bridge, and then we'll head back into the center of more of the residential area of San Francisco to find the university and the basketball arena for the San Francisco Dons. Alright, so this was the angle off of Golden Gate Bridge I was using to find this place. And we're going to point it out with an arrow for you guys to see. But you can see how all these buildings are crammed in here. Like this is how hard it's going to be in New York City to find all of those schools in New York City. So here's War Memorial Gym. And it is right there, tucked in those trees with the silver square. Our left wing just went over it. That is War Memorial Gym, home of the San Francisco Dons. Alright, so now we head back across the bay to Berkeley. And we're going to go check out the Cal Berkeley basketball and football venues. And then we're going to start making our way out of the Bay Area and the final few venues of this episode. It's going to feel good to get California done. Then we're going to have some states that aren't so crazy for a while till we get to Texas or New York. We'll have some more normal states where they just have, you know, at the most 7 or 8 teams instead of like 40. So here is the Bay Bridge. Follow it across into Berkeley, just above Oakland. And here we go. We've gotten our way across. And here up ahead of us is Berkeley, California, home of the California Golden Bears. I love the football venue here. We're going to check out the football venue first. And it's in a fantastic location, tucked up in a little ravine, right at the base of the mountains. You can kind of see it now, but it'll come into focus a little bit better. California Memorial Stadium. We're heading right at it. Tucked up in this little ravine here, home of the Cal Golden Bears. Historic stadium as well. And there it is. Beautiful setting for college football, man. Where does anybody park, though? Where do you park to go to a Cal game? There's no parking lots. You gotta park and walk for like 8 miles, 10 miles. There's California Memorial Stadium. We're gonna circle around and check out Haas Pavilion now, which is right there with the silver roof. Haas Pavilion, right to the side of the baseball field and near that swimming pool. Haas Pavilion, so there they are. You can still see the football stadium up in the foothills. Absolutely gorgeous spot in California for the California Golden Bears. All right, let's head out of Berkeley. We're going to head over the hillside and a little bit south into Moraga, California. Check out the home of the St. Mary's Gales. And stick with us here. We just got like 9 more minutes of this episode and a few more venues to see, and then we will have covered the entire state of California. All right, so St. Mary's, Moraga, California. Here is the university. We're going to circle around to see McKeon Pavilion. It's another historic stadium. And it is the white building right off of our left wing now. That is McKeon Pavilion, home of the St. Mary's Gales. All right, guys, we're going to head back inland now. We are done with the coast until we get... We're not going to see the coast again until we get back to Oregon. So we'll have Nevada, Utah, and Idaho. And then we'll hit Oregon and Washington and have a couple more episodes with the coast involved. And then it's going to be a while until we see the Atlantic Ocean as we go across the northern part of the United States in this tour. Okay, so we're back into the center, inland part of California, and we are looking at Davis. Davis, California, home of the UC Davis Aggies. So I think when this episode is all said and done, I will have missed 2 basketball teams that are Division I. The first one was UC San Diego. As we look at Arc Pavilion, home of the basketball program. Let's see if I pointed it out with an arrow or not. I don't know if I did. Yep, I did right there. So the square building right there is Arc Pavilion. That's the basketball arena. So I missed the UC San Diego Tritons, and I missed the Cal Baptist Lancers. Those were the 2 I missed. All right, UC Davis Health Stadium right here. is the football stadium, and it looks a little funky. I don't know what's on the field. Maybe they were laying sod or something, or rolling out the turf. I don't know what they were doing. But it looks like there's some project was going on the field for UC Davis football. Okay, now we are heading into Sacramento. Sacramento, California. Straight ahead, you can start to see the skyline pop up. You get a little bit closer. And first off, we're going to find Golden One Arena, home of the Sacramento Kings. And then we'll hit the Sacramento State Hornets on the other side of town. And there you can see the Sacramento River Cats baseball stadium just below us. I'm not necessarily doing minor league baseball teams, but when I see one that I recognize or know of, I'll throw it out there. All right, the Golden One Center. This was tough because it's not here. I mean, it is here in real life. It's right in this area. In real life, we'd be flying over it like about right now. But the old building is still there in the maps. So we're gonna do another pass here, and I'll show you exactly where Golden One Center is currently as we fly around here in Sacramento. I was disappointed because the map that you do the flight plan on actually showed the top of the building of Golden One Center, but then when I flew in here, it wasn't there. It was the old buildings that used to be there. So here we go again, and I'll point it out exactly. Home of the Sacramento Kings, the Golden One Center. It's right downtown, where Arco Arena used to be out away from town, so it's good that the Kings have this venue now, right in the middle of town, and that's right where it is located, even though it does not look like that. And that particular building can't possibly be there anymore because Golden One Center stands in its spot. And here is the California State Capitol building. We're going to buzz. Say hi to Governor Newsom. Make sure he's wearing his mask. Just kidding, that was a bad joke. Alright, let's look for the Sacramento State Hornets venues out on the west side of town. Colbert Court, also known as the Nest. And it is right straight ahead and off of our right wing right there. That is the Nest. And then Hornet Stadium, the football stadium, right here as well. So here's Hornet Stadium. You'll see the Sacramento State logo at midfield, and it says Hornets in the end zones. Home of Sacramento State. Okay guys, we only have one more venue to check out in California and we will be done. And it is way off the beaten path. We're making a special trip south to Stockton, California to check out the Spanos Center, home of the Pacific Tigers. And we're getting down there, and then we'll turn around and get back to Sacramento and land this thing. Just like 3 minutes left in the episode. Stick with me till the end. Then you can say you've seen every sports venue in the state of California. Alright, the Pacific Tigers from Stockton. Every sports venue as far as Division I sports go in college, and major pro sports, no minor league pro sports. That is what we're looking for in this series. Division I football, Division I basketball, and then all of the major sports, no minor leagues. That is what we're doing. Spanos Center is down here below us. We're going to circle around it. If we can find it, it actually looks a little bit like the Thunderdome. No, it doesn't. It's not. Never mind. It's not shaped like a cross or a... Yeah, that was it. The Spanos Center right there. It's tucked all up in the trees. And that's the home of the Pacific Tigers. And they used to have a football program. I don't know if you guys noticed the football stadium that was right there of the now defunct Pacific Tigers football program, but it was right there as well, right by the Spanos Center. And now we're going to head back up to Sacramento and put this airplane on the ground. And next time we fly, we will be heading from Sacramento to Reno to check out the state of Nevada. I know this has been a long episode. I appreciate you all for watching. For the most part, they should be shorter after this. But with Flight Simulator, there's just so much to see, man. So much to see. Alright, we're coming in to the Sacramento Executive Airport. And we're going to put this one down over the trees. Hit the runway. You can see the Sacramento skyline off in the distance. And we are down. Alright guys, that's it. Northern California from Malibu to Sacramento. Next up, we've got Nevada. Here on the State and Sports Venue Tour on Mama's Basement Sports Gaming.